Good morning, my friends. Happy Tuesday. So let me ask you this. Are your leads 100% legitimate? The leads that you're buying right now, if you're selling final expense, or regardless of what you're selling. But if you're picking up the phone to either set up an appointment or sell your product, the question is, are your leads legitimate with Tcpa and DNC laws? And if you really can't answer the question with a solid yes, you should be concerned. Because if your leads are not in compliance, it can cost you thousands, if not millions, and in some crazy scenarios, it can be in the billions. That's right. So again, ask yourself, are your leads compliant? Are the leads that you buy from the company right now that you're working with, do they do their leads the right way? Whether they're doing digital ads or the ads misleading, gimmicky, or are you buying live transfers and the people doing the live transfers are clueless on auto dialer laws, DNC checking, and basic TCPA laws? They'll tell you that they're 100% compliant, but people are getting sued. People like me are settling with companies like that every single year. And it's serious. And I'm going to share with you guys how serious by sharing my story. So for the last 8-9 months, I've been getting constant phone calls, again, from overseas call centers, generating final expense leads. And recently, in the last 6 months, now we have call centers in Pakistan, Philippines, making sales and sending that to licensed agents here in the US. Let that sink in. And I've been able to document all of this activity. It's crazy to be on the phone and to hear somebody representing a carrier that I know, and in the background you can hear a room full of people doing exactly that function, selling insurance without a license. And how do I know that? Because the call center is full of people and you can hear the heaviness in the accent that those call center rooms have. And hey, I know America's diverse, but that's a whole different level. Their English is a whole different, it's British. So this is what's happening now. So myself, for over 8 months, I have been documenting this. And these centers are pretty smart. They call, then they transfer you to a verifier. The verifier checks to see if your phone number's on the do not call registry. They also layer those phone calls with useless disclosures. And again, they check the DNC, and if I'm on there, they would hang up the phone. This happened over 100 times. Can you imagine how frustrating that was for me? I spent 5 minutes on the phone with these people to try to find out who's responsible for these calls. And then right before they're transferring me to the insurance company or their buyer, they'd hang up. Well, last week was their day. And I finally got to the end user, the USA buyer, which is a pretty large life insurance company. And now they have to respond for their agent's actions. And let me tell you this. Do I think that that agent is a bad person? Not at all. In fact, I feel bad for that agent in many ways simply because they didn't know any better. Think of that. They got sold on these leads. They got sold on the fact that they wouldn't have to do all the work of selling. All they would do is collect banking and all that information. And they were sold on that. And now this poor agent, not really poor because she had a decision to make. Now she's facing a TCPA lawsuit, DNC, not to mention what the state's going to do because, again, she was using non-licensed agent to represent her and do her job, and these people are not licensed. Can you imagine that? Now she has to face a big bad law firm. She got to defend that now, and that's not fun. So if you're watching this, again, are your leads legit? And if they're not, you need to start asking the questions before you end up with a surprise like this agent. Peace.